You're watching KOIN 6 News at 5:30. Watching out for you.
The clock will run out, and for the first time in 19 years, the Portland Trail Blazers are headed to the Western Conference Finals.
Open night, it's going to be a playoff-like atmosphere.
I think it's the deepest team we've had since I've been here.
But this year, we coming in, our focus is to win the championship.
Santa came down the chimney, big pile of presents there. That's how I feel.
So all that's left to do is play.
That's right, in about 90 minutes, it officially begins. The Portland Trail Blazers opening their 50th season tonight as they host the Denver Nuggets over at Moda Center. Hi again, everyone. Thanks for joining us for our KOIN 6 Trail Blazers opening night pregame show. I'm Adam Bjarnson. Now, we've got a ton to discuss over the next 30 minutes, and let's just get right to it. Head to the epicenter of where all the action is going to be. Our AJ McCord standing by over at Moda, where she's going to be popping in and out with several live guests over the next 30 minutes. AJ, I know Rip City's hyped, you're hyped, and that's because this Blazers team has legitimate deep postseason expectations once again this year.
They certainly do, Adam, and it's fitting that they began this 50th season of Blazer basketball across the street at Veterans Memorial Coliseum, because one of the only ways this team can improve on what last year's team did is by achieving what that 77 team did in that building, in VMC. And in fact, after the preseason game there, Dame said, I hope a little bit of this magic rubs off on this team. They've got 3 new starters, a bunch of new faces, but the pillar of the franchise, of course, is Damian Lillard. And as solid as he always is for Portland, steering them both on the court and in the locker room, here's his attitude heading into his 8th year in Rift City.
This year, we coming in, our focus is to win a championship. You know, I think our mentality has to shift to that. So what the experts' percentages of us making the playoffs, I mean, that's, I would say, the least of our concern.
Dame never concerns himself with all the chatter, all the experts who, by the way, most of them are still not picking the Blazers to even make the playoffs in the West. I'm joined by Carrie Eggers of the Portland Tribune. Carrie, you have been covering Blazer basketball for at least a few of their 50 years. So tell me just some initial thoughts on this team.
Well, I think they've got all it takes, AJ, to get to the finals. There's a lot of other teams that do too, but I like where their stars are. They're in the middle part of their careers. AJ, I think CJ and Damian are eager and they're ready to go, and they've got a supporting cast that is capable of getting there. Now let's see them try to do it.
So what is it going to take? I mean, this is a team who went to the Western Conference Finals last year. That means there's only one step above that. What is it going to take to make that jump?
Well, they need to have guys like, well, I'm really interested to watch Hassan Whiteside, especially in this early season, what he's going to give to him. They need his defense and rebounding. They need Bazemore to come off the bench and hit threes. They need better three-point shooting than they had a year ago, and they need to be better defensively. And Bazemore and Whiteside in particular interest me. If they can do that, then they're going to be a better club.
And I also think Rodney Hood is going to be an interesting X factor to see now that he's a part of this team, not just kind of what we thought was a rental as well.
Yeah, Rodney needs to be more consistent. Boy, if the good Rodney Hood is as good as you got on a three player in this league.
Yeah, so lots to watch tonight, AB. We are just getting started, but thank you, Carrie, for being here with us. I'm going to send it back to you, Adam.
I appreciate it, AJ. Thank you, you and Carrie. Of course, we'd be remiss to not mention the man behind the microphone in 1970. Bill Schonely, not only a 50-year employee of the Trailblazers as the original voice of the team, but really is the man responsible for creating Rip City. Sean's told us how that phrase came to life after a shot from then Blazers guard Jim Barnett against the Lakers back in 1971.
He stopped, he looked at me and winked, took one dribble and just let it go. Lo and behold, when it went through the netting, I had no idea I was going to say it. I came up with Rip City, all right. Lakers immediately called for a timeout. I gave my commercial cue, sat back in my chair, and the guys to my left and my right said, Rip City, leave that in. Wow. And that was the birth.
Good stuff. Now, when you think of the Trailblazers and the franchise's history, you think of Schonely, of course. Undoubtedly, you also think of Harry Glickman. Without Glickman, the NBA here in Portland would have never been possible. The Lincoln High School grad founded the team in 1970, served as the general manager until his retirement in 1987. When voters passed the bond to build Veterans Memorial Coliseum in 1954, Glickman set his sights on bringing basketball here to Portland. Now, it took years and $3.8 million, that's all, barely making the investment deadline. But in the end, Glickman brought the NBA to what is now known as Rip City.
So I'm very proud of that. Yeah, it's been a good team and a good franchise. One of the best in our league and one of the best in any league, in any professional sport. Well, I'd like to think I had a reputation for integrity, and I think I did. I hope I was loyal to the people around me that worked with me.
He's a phenomenal guy. At 95 years young, Glickman, the father of Oregon sports, inducted into the NBA Hall of Fame this past September. For more on the build-up, we head outside of Moda. That is where Jennifer Dowling is standing by with some of the fans that have arrived early. Jennifer?
See that Dr. Jack's here at the Moda Center is starting to fill up behind me. There's a lot of folks here that are enjoying this beautiful day, getting ready for the home opener, and they're hopeful that because the Blazers have won 18 home openers in a row, the odds are going to be good that this will be the 19th win. Now, fans say they're excited to see Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum return and to see the new faces on the team and how they play with the Blazers going up against the Denver Nuggets tonight. The fans know the Blazers beat the Nuggets in the Western Conference semifinals, and they say that's ramped up the rivalry here, making this game even more exciting. We talked to longtime fans that have made the Blazer games here a tradition.
We went to multiple games last year, and you know it's fun is when I was Max's age, 12, I listened to the Blazer games and followed them, and now he is, and so now it's just a fun event to go to and listen to, and be a part of. So.
All right, how are you feeling, Max?
I'm really excited. Hope the Blazers win. Hope they have a good season, and just excited.
Clyde Drexler, and Duck, we were pretty into those guys. But, it's 50 years later and 50 years worth of changes for people. So, being a grandma and a great-grandma, I'm still going with them.
Have played a preseason game against the Nuggets and lost, but they say, hey, it's just preseason, a time to test out plays and new players, so they're confident going forward. And the fans tell me that just makes this even more exciting, that this rivalry between the Nuggets and between the Denver Nuggets and the Blazers is even more intense because of that preseason win from Denver. And we'll have more updates on how fans are reacting tonight at 6 o'clock. Back to you in the studio.
Jennifer, thank you. Yeah, change is inevitable, certainly, with rosters year after year. All right, Blazer fans, we want to hear from you. Do you think the Blazers are going to win over or under 50 games this season? Vegas has Portland pegged at 46.5 wins. Right now, 77% of you are saying 50 or saying over 50, while 23% don't think it's in the cards. You could weigh in right now. Vote by going to our KOIN 6 Facebook page, and you can see that poll right at the top of your screen. All right, coming up, rivalry or no rivalry? That is the question. We try to settle the score on if the Blazers and Nuggets have a little bad blood after last year's heated conference semifinals. Plus, we go back out live to Moda, where our AJ McCord has a one-on-one with NBC Sports Northwest Blazers reporter Jamie Hudson. That's coming up next.